Good evening, everyone. We've got Sunday night football here for you from the Northern Beaches. NPL Women's New South Wales from Cromer Park, and these Macarthur Rams versus Manly United, the second round of the 2025 edition of this wonderful competition. Eric Sibiana here calling high up from the Lucas Neal stand here at Cromer Park. And for Manly United, they're looking to build on an excellent performance first time up, a 5-1 victory over Western Sydney Wanderers Academy, while for Macarthur Rams, a team with a bunch of new players, a tough assignment first time up against defending, apologies, not that they would, Apia didn't win anything, but they're still a top team nonetheless. They were away to Apia Leichhardt last weekend, were Macarthur Rams, losing by 2-0. Those two goals coming courtesy of the Queen of Blacktown, Ashley Crofts, the Apia captain. So technically this is a Macarthur Rams home game, but there was a switch in the build-up to this game. Still work yet to be finished at Macarthur's usual home of Linwood Park, so there was a swap. And Manly United, you could say, getting a bonus home game to start their season before their first official home game of the season, which is next weekend against Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Quick shout-out to the third team before we get underway. So in the centre with the whistle is the Hillshire's own Alana Zick. Assistant nearest to us, Thomas Dale, who calls these parts home, the Northern Beaches. And the other assistant, I believe he's also local, is Isaac Riggs. So let's go through the lineups. Firstly, for Macarthur Rams, in goal is number 20, Isabella Coelho. Number 3 is Philippines international Chantel Meniti. Number 5, Lola Sasai. Number 9, Teo Masensky. Number 10, Sakura Nojima. Number 12, it's the junior Matilda, the aptly named Matilda Diaz-Vadovitz. Gotta love nominative determinism. Number 13 is Libby Morris. Number 15 is Maya Yagi. Number 22, Harley Callow. Number 25, Claire Corbett. And number 27, Charlotte Hampshire. While for Manly United, in goal for them, number 1, Nicole Simonson. Then number 2, their captain, Phoebe Gilbane. Number 3, Grace Arnold. Number 4, Leah Burton. Number 5, Nicole Stewart. Number 8, Anita Zordan. Number 9, Emily Minette. Number 11, Tegan Biasi. Number 12, Sian Bozanic. Number 15, Michaela Schmelzer. And number 18, one of the stars of the Australian Women's National Futsal team. That is, of course, Daisy Arrowsmith. Manly's coached by Victoria Guzman. Sorry, got that wrong again. Another mistake pre-game. Well, that's unusual. Well, it's not actually. But Macarthur's coach is Victoria Guzman. Manly's coach is Tom Hopley. And we are about to get underway in this one. There's the whistle right on cue from Alana Zick. And for those of you who have perhaps tuned in after games earlier today, I know there was a 5 p.m. kickoff between Apia Leichhardt and Gladesville Ravens. Other games, of course, all across the state leagues. And perhaps there might be a few of you who have tuned in after watching the Australian Formula One Grand Prix down in Melbourne. Thanks for your support, whatever you did earlier in the day. As it's Stewart, who is dispossessed by her fellow number 5, Lola Sasai, the Rams captain. And on the far side, or the far post side, as I like to call this here at Cromer Park, in honour of the clubhouse opposite to us, there's a Rams throw, which leads to the first Rams corner of the game. So a good start, and Manly coach, who's a new to this role, Victoria Guzman, replacing Stephen Peters, who won, if you can believe that, the last 3 championships in NPL Women's New South Wales, and justly rewarded. He was Stephen Peters with a gig as the head coach of A-League women's side Perth Glory. So it's all lots of change at Macarthur Rams. That's a nice short corner routine to Corbett. Decent ball in. Schmelzer with the foot in. Now, as it's going to be Zordan, who was beaten to the punch by Sasai. So yes, there were 2 games scheduled for yesterday in NPL Women's New South Wales, but the Arctic Circle wasn't very Arctic yesterday, as Spirit versus Jets was postponed due to the heat. So unfortunately, we did not get to hear the dulcet tones of the Professor, Melissa Muscat, yesterday. But there was one game late evening, and, well, a venue that is perhaps further away from here than a lot of people realize, but at North Taramara Recreation Area, there was a 2-all draw between Northern Tigers and Sydney University. Annabelle Banfield on the mic doing an excellent job, as always. Northern Tigers, as we watch this Manly move, I'll hold that thought actually. Here's Gilbane, the Manly skipper, and Biasi's been called offside by Thomas Dale. But yes, last night at North Taramara, 2-all between Northern Tigers and Sydney Uni in a game I like to call the Alex the Astronaut Derby, because yes, that musician has played for both teams. But the Tigers 2 goals coming from, I believe, 2 of their Kiwis, Olivia Cartwright and Nicola Dominikovic, while Sydney Uni scored 2 absolute bangers, so check those out on the stream if you haven't already. 1 goal from long range by Ruby Egan-Brown, and another goal from even longer range by Amelia Feeney. And that one especially is worth seeing because as Biasi's pressing here, Rams trying to beat the press, but that Amelia Feeney goal last night had some space, made a run out from centre back, did Amelia Feeney, and the camera angle right behind the shot, you could see it curling into the top corner, an absolutely unsavable shot. And Amelia Feeney, who's got that reputation as a very good centre back at such a young age in this competition, has known for a long-range goal as well. She did that at least once last year, and Amelia Feeney's also been training, had spent some time training with Wellington Phoenix. If you can believe that, when Wellington Phoenix spent an extended time in Sydney between games earlier in the A-League women's season. So she's doing a great deal of work there and getting noticed. But that's enough about that game last night, as we've got a very interesting game in front of us here. Macarthur, that's usual colours for both, which makes it easier for the traditionalists. Rams in the maroon jerseys, and Manly in their mostly dark blue jerseys with some nice red trim there, as it's too physical from Dias Vardovic on Gilbane, and Alana Zic not having any of that. So a foul to Manly just past their side of halfway. So yes, going on as our Smith has been caught with a bit of a jersey pull on Sakura Nojima. That might actually be a good midfield battle to watch out for. Those two potentially going head-to-head, as they're both expected to line up in midfield for their teams. Nojima has won that particular duel. Manidi goes long. Great header from Schmelzer. Now, I noticed and actually was at Manly's round 1 game at the venue lovingly known as the Rudy Hill Turf Farm, where they beat the Wanderers 5-1 away from home. So a bit of a loose touch from Gilbane there. They did look excellent after the Wanderers had a good start, but then Manly really stepped it up, earning that 5-1 win. There was a double from Emily Minette. Now I'm testing my memory here. The player who's just won that free kick, Phoebe Gilbane, scored, as did Tegan Biasi and Nicole Stewart. And if you are a longer-term fan of this competition, this wonderful NPL Women's New South Wales competition, a Macarthur versus Manly matchup, as Simonson passes it to Arnold. Rams versus Manly may evoke memories of that epic 2017 grand final where Manly defeated Macarthur by 4-3 as Hamshik passes to Manidi. The Rams led that 2017 decider for a lot of the game, but in the end Manly prevailing thanks to a Remy Simpson hat-trick. As it's Sasai, blocked by Stewart, and Macarthur Rams versus Manly United, certainly two clubs that have been standard bearers over the last decade and even more in this competition for the way they're able to bring young players from the region through, and they go on to bigger and better things. The aforementioned Remy Simpson now applying her trade. This will test my Nordic memory. She's in Sweden with Christian Studs. My goodness, I hope I got that right. But as Bazanic plays it through, and Biasi almost got the jump in the defence, but not on Coelho. Good sweeper keeping there. Zordan breaking up that move for Rams. As Manly have brought players through onto bigger and better things. Likewise, there's a lot of very recent young Macarthur Rams players now plying their trade in A-League women, which is what we love to see. Now Burton far side to Arrowsmith. And Arrowsmith just under pressure run it out. So it'll be Sasai with the throw-in for Rams. And now Burton, just the short throw. Back to Schmelzer. Now, something I noticed in round one, and knowing Michaela Schmelzer's background, I was pleased to see this did end up being the case, because Michaela Schmelzer, very good in the air, and I expect her to be a threat at every attacking set piece Manly have. That'll just run through to Coelho. Michaela Schmelzer, the American, went to college at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and was a two-sport athlete, as they say over there. She played football and basketball for the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and so as you might expect, she does have a great vertical leap. So that'll be something to look forward to. Any corners Manly win in this game, as it's Arnold on the ball. Now Schmelzer. Stewart. And that's a quick play. Arrowsmith thinking one over the top. Stewart's got a lot of speed, and she'll take it to the byline under pressure here. And Stewart, that is a great tackle from Sasai. She needed to be spot on inside the area. Got the ball cleanly, and now, well, she might have hurt herself, so hopefully this is nothing too bad. But the Macarthur captain not looking the most comfortable, and we'll see if the physio is waved on. Now, yep, physio will be waved on. And yes, this is all a young player that has been trusted enough by the coaching staff to be given the armband. So you hate to see this, and it doesn't exactly look comfortable here. So themselves in terms of what they've seen in the opening 9 minutes. It's goalless here if you've joined us a little bit late. Goalless here between Macarthur Rams and Manly United. Round 2 of NPL on the mic. And I might just see, as Sasai continues to get treated, at least she's able to sit up, but anyway, she'll have to slide off the field so she can continue to get looked at, but rest assured she is getting the best of care. I think off frame, and of course us commentators can't do this job without camera operators, so it's good to see Josh from our broadcast partners at Sportscast Australia helping us out today. But I did see off frame Manly coach Tom Hopley giving some instructions to Anita Zordan based on what he's seen so far. So Rams down to 10 for the moment, but it's going to be Leah Burton to restart with this throw-in. Now Burton and Arthur. I think that was Burton offside, as it was bounced back to her. Off that throw-in. So thank you to long-time Football New South Wales reporter Justin Davies. We have a score from the League One Women's. That's also at Rudy Hill. So a bit of a Rudy Hill festival of football going on, because Spartans hosting Marconi while Wanderers are hosting Olympic on the same day. For the uninitiated, Spartans and Western Sydney Wanderers, they don't just share a suburb, they share a driveway. So another Football New South Wales reporter, Justin Smith, does call that the driveway derby. But you want to keep one eye on Sasai. Still being looked at, but Coelho restarts. Manly win the ball back. But yes, in that match of the round at Rudy Hill, Marconi defeating Spartans by 1-0. This is potentially an opportunity for Manly to strike while Rams are down to 10 players, but Nicole Stewart has overcooked that pass. Justin Davies, there's too many Justins, but anyway, Justin Davies has been helpful with giving me other League One women's scores. Actually, yesterday Yesterday down on the South Coast, it was a long old trip from Bankstown City, and they got burnt by their opponents. South Coast Flame beating Bankstown City by 4-0. And also there was a derby in League One Women's earlier on, with St George FC defeating Sutherland Strikers by 4-0. And presumably that would involve at least one St George FC player scoring against their old club. So we'll run through to Simonson. Now, apologies because apparently we are receiving technical issues, but it's Zordan who's a bit off balance, and that shot will go out for a goal kick. Sasai, she's on her feet now. I think she's just... Oh, I thought she was doing a little bit of a fitness test, but actually she's jogging around. And yes, there's the signal. So Rams have seen out the period down with 10 players. And looks like, well, it's good to see. It looks like Lolo Sasai has passed all the checks. Rams back to their full complement. And I see no Rams substitute with the bib off, so 11v11 it is. And I hate to see an early sub due to injury, especially with a young player. So there it is. Sasai. Now, as they work the far side, but it is Callow who's defended against, will be a Rams throw. Yeah, so hopefully we can get those technical issues fixed. And thanks to Lockie, a friend of General Football New South Wales coverage, who is tuning in. So my hunch was correct. In that aforementioned St George FC versus Sutherland Strikers game from League One Women's, Jordan Baker scored twice for St George FC. So yes, at least 2 you didn't want us for St George FC earlier today. Schmelter exchanges passes with Stewart. Now that's Arrowsmith with the first-time ball, which Sasai intercepts. Now, Diaz-Vardovic looking to lead the charge, but well-timed from Grace Arnold. Stepping in before Diaz-Vardovic would settle it. I gotta love nominative determinism. I love that Matilda Diaz-Vardovic has a Junior Matilda's call-up. So she's like a... Yes, is that... Hang on. Well, the lights have gone out here. Oh dear. So... Yeah, so we're going to have a break in play. I really hope this can be fixed fairly quickly, but some of the Chroma Park lights have gone out. There'll be people frantically ringing council, whoever it is. But this will be a test of our ability to fill time. And now this is a very interesting coaching challenge. One coaches don't get too often. You're gonna have to stop the stopwatches here. But it's a chance to get drinks. It is very warm here. The under-23 game before us had 2 drinks breaks per half. So if they made the same decision, the officials, then this is about the time that you would have had that first drinks break anyway. But Tom Hopler, Victoria Guzman giving their instructions. Of course, it's so important. This is a big test, especially a game with lots of young players, to stay mentally switched on, because you don't know how long this stoppage will be. If you've just joined us, well, as the lights have gone out. It's not a problem with your stream, but some of the lights have gone out here at Chroma Park. And about a quarter of an hour played, 0-0 between Rams and Manly. So, going through earlier scores, let's talk about the other fixtures in NPL Women's New South Wales. I've spoken about 3 of them, but the 3 other 7 p.m. kickoffs. And, you know, if you're the multi-screening type, maybe you've already got one of these games loaded up. But, yeah, the other 7 p.m. kickoffs at the Village Green. What a name that is, by the way, the Village Green. It's UNSW up against Bulls FC Academy at Popondetta Park. Mount Druitt, the newly promoted Mount Druitt hosting Illawarra Stingrays. And also at the Reedy Hill Turf Farm, Western Sydney Wanderers versus Sydney Olympic. And that one... That Wanderers versus Olympic game being called by the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozder. And I believe Annabelle Banfield, who is the Tigers versus Sydney Uni caller last night, I think is doing some match of their own Instagram stuff for our media team. Well, this ain't looking good for Lola Sasai. As I think might be off frame, but she's gone. She's left the field to play, and this is a tough sight for the Macarthur captain. She's on the physio's table already, so I suspect that's going to be the end of that, at least of her involvement. But the bigger challenge at the moment is getting the lights on and getting the rest of this game restarted. Of course, if you're anywhere near Sydney, you know how hot it's been. There's been games moved all over the place, both today and yesterday. The under-18 girls youth league game between these two teams was postponed, which was a sensible decision, because I got here about the time it was about to kick off, and yep, too hot for kids to play football. But we did at least get the women's under-23 game between Rams and Manly completed. And perhaps if you're just because at the start of the season we like to keep people informed of any changes. Yes, women's reserve grade has been changed to women's under-23, so that's changed to the competition structure for this year. But yeah, in under-23s, it was Manly United defeating Macarthur Rams by 5-1. A double from Jasmine Robertson, as well as goals from from Jessica Percival, Sasha O'Rourke, and Mackenzie Jeffs. And in the interest of completeness, might as well run through the other League One women's fixtures as well. So there was a game between SD Raiders and Camden Tigers. And a game that was also scheduled to kick off at 7 p.m, Nepean versus Central Coast Mariners, and a game that will kick off at 7:30 p.m. It's a local derby between Hills United and Blacktown City. So, well, it's uncertain times here. Might as well go through the two benches. I did forget to do that before kickoff. For Manly United, Jodie Draver was the backup keeper, and she also played in the under-23 game. The other Manly subs, they only named 5 today. Out of them, they could name a maximum of 6, but the other subs, Bonnie Adams, Ava Roberts, Hallie Smith, and Ellie Kerr. While 6 on the Rams bench, they are Madison Swatridge, Abby Puckett, Liana Long, Janaya Barudi, Gabriella White, and Madison Mann. Plenty of jokers in my group chats. This is listed as a Macarthur home game, so it's their responsibility to fix the lights. Well, it doesn't. Okay, so, of course, I mean, it can't be a complete disaster here in the Chroma area, because at least half of the lights are still on. And there we go. Goodness. That's a relief. I was running out of things to talk about. The lights are, at least the lights in, if I would say, the northwestern corner of this field, they appear to be on. Now we've just got to figure out the northeastern corner of this field. I mean, some of the more snarky amongst us might point out that with one non-functional light tower, the light's still better here than it is at a lot of grounds. Well, it's a bit of a if you know, you know situation. Far be it from me to name any grounds. Okay, you can just see the lights from the northeastern corner. Still not on. And so we play the waiting game. Now, I mean, without naming names in my group chats, if it has to be replayed, does it have to be a Chroma, or can it be finished at Linwood when it opens? Because NPL men's New South Wales game between, who was it, Wollongong Wolves and St George City, I can't remember which venues, it started at Wynn Stadium and finished at Macedonia Park 3 or 4 days, or maybe even 3 or 4 or 5 days later, the following midweek. So, to answer that question, yeah, I mean, I really hope this isn't called off for a lot of reasons, but if it does get called off, it doesn't have to, the rest of the game doesn't have to be played here. dear. Well, see, I just don't know. We just have to wait and see, I suppose. I mean, if I knew it was going to be a long break, I'd go to the far post and get a cold drink. But fortunately, I can't do that. By the way, some kind messages. Thanks, Megan. I try my best with filler talk. I'm really trying here. Okay. Well, I think there's a little... As I watch the teams continue to warm up, I see Manly assistant coach. Apologies if I get this mispronounce your name, but Jaden Sugaranajan. I hope that's right. Just reminding his players to keep warmed up. Of course, it's as much as a mental thing as anything. This is it's a very tricky one here. Oh, well, thankfully I'm getting ideas for filler content. Thanks to Lockie for enabling me. Yes. Thanks to, shall we say, my contacts at Manly. Let's go through Youth League scores. Hey, a rare chance for the Youth League players to get shout-outs. Oh, there's a lot of... This is a chaotic... There we go. So, possibly for the first time in Football New South Wales YouTube history, let's do a Girls Youth League wrap-up. So, in under-14s, Manly beat Macarthur Rams 4-1. Goals from Emily Skelton, Alana Lully, Gabby Demian, and Lola Hart. And I think it's very topical with the Australian Formula One Grand Prix being held today that the Manly's under-14s have a player whose name exactly matches a 1980s Formula One car, which that amused me a lot. And I've heard my sources tell me that Lola Hart has a great engine. And the under-15s, so Manly beat Macarthur Rams by 2-0. Goals from Giselle White and Gracie Bishop, and a clean sheet from Taylor Wilmot. And as I mentioned, 18s was postponed due to the heat. Yeah, it was outrageously hot by 3 p.m. But in the under-16s, a 6-0 win for Manly over Macarthur Rams. A double for Erin Dunn, a double for Amber Coy. The other goals from Georgia Horan and Charlotte Hull. And if you follow Manly social media at all, it is one of the most familiar things in Manly United social media. A clean sheet kept by Charlotte Church and Chelsea McCready. So, I mean, unfortunately, I can't. Oh, did I see that Super Coach Mel Keith is tuning in? No, unfortunately, Mel, nobody's paying me too much. I wish that was true. Anyway, the Northeastern lights are back on, so those of you that have hung around, you're rewarded for your patience. I mean, my filler talk is almost over. I believe in the 5 p.m. kickoff in NPL Women's New South Wales, I think it ended up as a 2-1 win to RPL Leichhardt over the Ravens, and a double from Christina Kachich, the young RPS centre back. She's just joined them from after the disbandment of Football New South Wales Institute. And Christina Kachich, incredibly tall centre back, running into the far post and heading it in twice. Kachich also got a recent Young Matildas call-up, the Australian under-20s, during the recent international window. So did watch a couple of RPL Leichhardt trials in pre-season, and she was very impressive. So Mel Keith... Sorry, not Mel Keith just messaged me at the same time. I mean, Mel Keith's probably coached Christina at some point, but the RPF found a really good one in Christina Kachich there. So hopefully it's not too long before an RPL Leichhardt game, before I call an RPL Leichhardt game this season. Yep, thumbs up from Anthony Caruso, the ground announcer. Good. Now I can actually do what I was paid to do. Will I make any more sense doing that? Well, you'll be the judge of that. Okay, Someone else is getting in my mention saying I've heard exactly 0 Formula 1 puns so far. Okay, if you say so. So it's going to start. So this is, of course, one of the trickier parts of being a referee, how to deal with situations like this. It's going to be some kind of drop ball. I think it's utter woke nonsense that they've gotten rid of the uncontested drop ball, but this one I think it's going to be dropped to Macarthur Rams, and then we can finally get back underway. Another one of my group chats, 80% of throw-ins that we see are foul throws. Not naming names, but there's a player in this league, I reckon 100% of her throw-ins are foul throws. Message me if you want to know who it is. Now it's Alanazik continually keeping up the chat. And in fact, while I've been trying the filler talk, the one thing I should have been paying attention to, yep, Lola Sasai unfortunately will take no further part. So now I've got to figure out who came on in her place. A long-time listeners to my commentary will know I'm absolutely appalling at figuring out subs, especially at half-time, but so this is nothing new. But I'll figure it out. I mean, possibly the player with the orange boots who is lining up at right back. That's where Lola Sasai started the game. And now they're continuing to talk it out. Yes. So Zordan having a chat, Anita Zordan, Tim Masensky. They'll know each other, I think, from as both, if my memory serves me correctly, being ex-Football New South Wales Institute players. Off frame, Libby Morris and Maya Yagi staying warm, staying switched on. Charlotte Ham. By the way, shout out to Charlotte Hampshire of Macarthur Rams, wearing my favorite number 27. I'm also amused because there's two Charlottes. There's two players in this league whose first name is Charlotte and whose last name is a place in England. Shout out to Arpia Leichhardt star Charlotte Lancaster. That's a good thing, as I keep time on my phone stopwatch, because you never know what can happen with the scoreboards at these grounds. I'm lucky I remember to make sure to switch it back on. I mean, yes, people will know there is a scoreboard to our left, but, I mean, let's be honest, my eyes can't see that far, so... Here we go, finally. It's lights out and away we go. Sorry, that's the wrong sport. We're back underway here at Cromer Park. I'm glad someone found that funny. And that... Miyagi let that run out. Now, the next challenge, the Macarthur player that's been subbed on. Will I figure out who it is before half-time? I think, as I said, my eyes can't really tell. I can't see clearly what's happening on the far side of the field, but I think it is for the Rams number 19, Madison Swatridge, who has come on for Lola Sasai. Now, Bazanic. So it's almost like, if I may use a boxing analogy, that two teams trading early jabs. The weird thing is now they've got to do it again. And that's a bit overhit, but Grace Arnold, alert enough to prevent what I think Manly folk would consider to be an unnecessary corner. Oh, that's right. So, thanks to Mel Keith. I did figure it out in the end anyway, but yes, I am right. Madison Swatridge on for Lola Sasai. Minette trying the switch of play. So it's an early test for Swatridge up against the very fast Nicole Stewart, and she passes the first early test. And by the way, I should probably another half-finished story. of mine. Yes, the boxing analogy is about to make the two teams trading early jabs. And now, in the first 15 minutes, now they've got to do it again. Manidi, a little bit off balance, but she kept her footing well because Manly players were ready to pounce. And the flag's up from Isaac Riggs on the far side. That's Gilbane. Back to Simonson, the switch, and now it's Burton overlapping. First time ball headed away by Swatridge. Stewart. And that's good. She's smart defending in that phase of play from the Rams, not letting Stewart turn. And now as they try to find Burton, it is Swatridge again. Then Hampshire, who finds Nojima. And then Arrowsmith. There's that Arrowsmith-Nojima battle again. And Arrowsmith, once again, despite her protestations, Daisy Arrowsmith committing the foul. As alluded to in the intro, Daisy Arrowsmith, one of the history makers, a member of the first ever Australian women's national futsal team. They travelled to Uzbekistan in January to compete in qualifiers for the Women's Futsal Asian Cup, as that's reeled in by Teo Masensky. And Masensky then gives it straight to Burton. Gilbane, but yes, Australian Women's National Futsal Team and their superstar goalkeeper, my favourite goalkeeper in the world, Sarah Easthope. They were successful, 4 wins from 4 in January's qualifiers, and they are going to the Asian Cup, which will be held in China in May. Now Biasi to Minette, plays it through Zordan. I think she stayed onside. Zordan, bit of a tight ankle and wheels away from the goal. Back to Bazanic. And Bazanic, it's Biasi. Manly just doing smart to hold it. Now Gilbane is the player in space out wide. She crosses. It's decent as well. And might break for Minette. There's a touch, I think. That's off Macarthur. Yep, that's going to be a corner. Last touch of Callow. And that's, by my very manual corner count, that's the first corner of the evening for Manly. But a long time listeners of my commentary will know sometimes I struggle to count to 1. Anyway, here's the corner. In-swinger coming up as the players make their runs. Schmelzer might be interested in this. She's close to it, and it's a real scramble. Gilbane tries to scoop it in, and Gilbane, well, with almost no backlift, she tried to have a dig, but there were too many bodies in the way. Here's Schmelzer to Gilbane. Now, outside of the foot pass, which will end up being a Rams throw. Burton, well positioned for Manly, but that's actually a good outcome, as at least the Rams can relieve the pressure, as Yagi thinks about what she can do with the throw. When in doubt, down the line. Here's Arnold, but no Rams near enough to the ball, and Manly will start again. Now Stewart. Now trying to go all the way across. Biasi's going to make it interesting for Yagi. So she goes home, as they say, back to the keeper, Coelho. Biasi still pressing, and now the support comes, and it's an early strike, but then, well, that's an incredibly casual stop from Isabella Coelho. Nice, trapping it with a foot. And a touch like that. Won't surprise you to learn that Isabella Coelho, also a futsal player. And I think, might get the club wrong, I think she plays in the Futsal Premier League for Enfield All-Stars, I think. Schmelzer. Now it's not enough room to sneak it through to Burton. Now the Rams try to go the other way, crossing halfway. Is Callow. To Nojima, 2 former Stingrays, now in Macarthur colours. And that's the foul. I think that was well won. I think it was Libby Morris. And the neat turn. Rams go quickly. Long range shot from Nojima, and it's going to dip, but not in time. Goal kick, but Sakura Nojima, who in her first season in this competition last year with Illawarra Stingrays, got rave reviews all over the place. Great signing for Macarthur. And you know what, like, these two have got to bet in as a central midfield partnership, but I'm liking this central midfield partnership of Libby Morris and Sakura Nojima. I think that those two together have a lot of potential. So, Stewart now finds herself centrally, and it's Manly with the ball. Arnold goes sideways to Schmelzer. Then it's a bit of an awkward one for Schmelzer. So, I think she didn't really want to go back to the keeper, but no other options as the Rams stepped up. That's good team play from Rams. And then Bozanic trying to exploit the space in behind, and Gilbane should get there, although there's a good press from Yagi. A big collision. Manly want a free kick. Oh, no, hang on. Oh, this might not be good. This might not be good for Maya Yagi. And yeah, this is... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, we hope that's not as bad as it sounds, but... She's getting the best possible care. There's a one unfortunate one between two players going for it. Gilbane's still on the ground as well. And there's Gilbane able to sit up. I do wonder if that was a clash of heads, because unfortunately that was a big collision. Rams, who've already lost one player. One player due to injury. It's perhaps another decision that Victoria Guzman needs to make. Bain's back on her feet. Now, she will need to leave the field for the time being. But I think all the concern is with Maya Yagi. Now, in fact, I think that's a Manly... Hang on, that's, you know what? I think they're gonna get the stretcher. So, from memory, the stretcher is the canteen end to our left, but it's good to see Manly physios helping out as well. But yeah, this unfortunately, I think we could be here for a while. Yes, well done to Jaden Sugaranajan, who's got the stretcher. This is... I'm not sure what it was. Now, I think, well, let's not speculate about a young player's injury, but I don't think it's the head, so that's good at least. so it's well done. That's people from Manly helping Maya Yagi. But yeah, she will be carried off. That's something you hate to see. I think well done to everyone at Manly for helping so quickly. I did see Women's Technical Director Sharon Eggert directing people as to what to do in this situation. Sharon Eggert's seen it all, so I think she knew exactly and immediately how serious the situation was. Again, a real test of concentration.
Coming onto the field is number 29, Liana Luong. And making away from the field is number 15, Maya Yagi.
So in case Mike's didn't pick that up, but decent sound system here in the Lucas Neal stand. It's Liana Luong on as Macarthur's second substitution of the game for Maya Yagi, wishing Maya all the best. And we will restart with this Manly corner to be taken by Daisy Arrowsmith. Clipped in. It's going to be put the keeper under pressure here, and it was Minette attacking it. It will be a goal kick. Minette, great in the air. We saw that. We've seen that a number of times in the competition. And Emily Minette scored an absolute textbook headed goal last weekend in Manly's 5-1 win over the Wanderers. And by the way, big shout out to Phoebe Gilbane as well for the cross, as it was right onto Emily Minette's forehead, and then Minette putting it into the bottom corner, absolutely unsavable. So we've got Manly have got Schmelzer, they got Minette, they carry a decent threat from these set pieces, and you've got players like Arrowsmith to deliver the ball from the corner flag. And Daisy Arrowsmith, I was actually lucky enough to be on the mic when she scored direct from a corner last year against Spartans, an Olympico, as we like to call it. There's the touch from Biasi, and here is Arrowsmith into the box against Manidi, and Manidi will play it out for what I think will be Manly's third corner of the game. Now, unfortunately, with all these stoppages, well, I mean, it's a minor thing when you consider what's happened to the Rams so far, but I'm not quite sure how much time has elapsed. So we're going to have a bit of an old school football experience. For the younger folk amongst you, they never used to tell us how much stoppage time there was. So when the clock reached 45, you just had to guess. Now, Arrowsmith from the flag. Another decent ball, and the header from Arnold. And they got some of the fans in the Lucas Neal stand excited. Good header from Arnold, downward as well, but wide, and Quayle looked pretty comfortable, didn't feel the need to dive. Now, well, Morris might have been played into trouble there. She was under immediate pressure from multiple Manly players. Morris has done well there to win it back. Luong. Nojima accidentally slams that into Morris. It's almost a bit of a commentator's curse after I talked up the potential of that Nojima-Morris partnership. Now it's with Manly, and Zordan goes back to Schmelzer. Burton back, and back to Simonson. Now the pressure comes. Corbett leading the press, but then kind of backing off. I think she realized she was outnumbered, so doesn't want to waste energy, especially in such a hot day. Although thankfully, at least we're grateful to those that pushed back the kickoff time, because it would have been tough for the players. It was tough enough for the under-23s in the end, but would have been tough to have a first grade game at 5 p.m. with the conditions we've had today. Is Tegan Biasi, and a bit of a coming together with Libby Morris and Alana Zick. Well, we've seen 2 injuries already, so I think Alana Zick just making sure nothing and nothing escalates there. Arrowsmith delivers decent right to the edge of the box and off Hampshire. Stewart's making the late run and got a touch on it, forces the corner. That's excellent work from one of the Manly United stalwart, Nicole Stewart, member of the 2020 Manly Grand Final winning squad. That was one of the biggest Grand Final shocks we've seen in recent years. Sydney Uni went into that game with, I think, if memory serves me correctly, a 32-game undefeated run. And not a lot of draws in that 32-game stretch. But Nicole Stewart, part of the Manly team, which shocked them 2-1 in the 2020 NPL New South Wales Grand Final. So, now here's the corner. I think that's Arrowsmith again to deliver. It's up. Minette's up there, so Schmelzer. And then, well, that's definitely last touch of Manly. So goal kick, and the Young Rams have seen that again well. Seen that out. And you can see, and you don't, and you can understand why it's the strategy from the Manly set pieces, or at least what it appears to be. Amy, Minette, and Schmelzer look like being a big part of their attacking set piece strategy this year. At the back, here's Gilbane. Good to see she's okay after that collision. And Luong has won the throw. Of course, I think, yeah, there's sub-windows in NPL, I'm pretty sure there is. So, unfortunately, due to those other injuries, if you've just joined us, 0-0 between Macarthur Rams and Manly United, I think I'm actually going to have to trust the scoreboard now because I didn't keep up with what's going on my stopwatch. Let's go with that. About 34 minutes played. Yeah, 0-0 between Rams and Manly, but two unfortunate early injuries to Lola Sasai and Maya Yagi. And Maya Yagi did need to be carried off on a stretcher. So that's what we've seen so far. But here's Rams trying to create a chance, and it was a strong run from Bosensky before she was stopped illegally, according to the officials. Now Zordan trying for the killer ball. Biasi, at least, is going to put the pressure on Hampshire, and then Hampshire clearing it across the field low, but it ends up on the other side. So, as well, that ends well, I suppose. Up for grabs here in the centre of park. Here's Biasi, stopped by Hampshire. Now Zordan. Zordan off target that time, but she set up one of Manly's goals last weekend with a lovely dink ball to Tegan Biasi, who then rounded the keeper and slammed it into an empty net. And I was impressed when I saw Anita Zordan play for Institute last year. I think that is a very smart pickup for Manly United. So Arrowsmith around the corner, Biasi. Sorry, that was Zordan, who exchanging passes with Biasi, and then that's actually, that smart work from good positioning from Maniti, who's taken over the armband after Sasai had to leave the field. Just some of the little things with central defenders, blocking off runs, just getting in the way, generally making it difficult. I didn't allude to it earlier in the broadcast, I explicitly stated it, but actually hold that thought. That's a good run. The cut back to Minette, space in the edge of the box. First time shot, and Coelho can watch it go wide. But I think that was Bazanic. No, part of Manly's central midfield found herself out wide. It was a strong run and good vision to find Minette in space and good shooting position. Shot goes wide, but that's promising for Manly as we approach half-time. How much time is left? I'm not sure. As I see right in front of me, I think that's Bridget Malone, who is playing in the Macarthur Rams reserves. I'll just take this opportunity to say that I'm a big, big fan of Bridget's older sister, Darcy, who Macarthur Rams Jr., part of the championship winning side for the Rams last year, now plying a trade at Canberra United. As Morris. And Morris just outnumbered in the end. Now first time ball, and Minette might have got the jump on Hampshire here. Emily Minette leaves the ball behind her, but there's still options. Here's Stewart, and Stewart, well, it's cleared in the end by Luong, and I think, you know what, credit to the substitute, Swatridge, who got in the way just as Stewart was about to pull the trigger. Now, oh. All right. I'm too old to see that far, but anyway, it's a free kick to Rams. And Swatridge. Tom Hopley urging for pressure on the ball, so that's what they do. Minette resuming that battle with Manidi. And Minette again, good win. Now, Stewart cutting inside, and Stewart shoots from range, good block. So it's Corbett going around the corner. Nojima. And now, well, again. It's just interesting the way this game is played out so far. Libby Morris seems to be the one that is being passed to while there's multiple players marking her. Good work from Manly. Good work from Manly. I think it's important. If you're an opposition player, when in doubt, just mark the Melkeith prodigies tightly. Now, good ball from Minette. BRC does keep it in and wins the corner off Maniti. Can I just say, I'm loving calling a game with one of mga kababayan, one of my compatriots, and that is Philippines international Chantel Maniti on the field. And I think so far she's shown why she's good enough to win international caps for the country of my parents' birth, as Arrowsmith delivers the corner to the far post, and good hit downward header straight at Coelho, who had good positioning. I think that was Schmelzer, so yes. Well, the throw-in for Coelho goes straight to Schmelzer, who was jogging back to a normal central defensive position. Now it's Minette. Bazanic, she thought about the long-range shot. Now it's the 1-2 instead. But then that's good defending from the Rams. Absolutely no idea. Normally I like to mix it up by referring to the hosts and the visitors, but with this being technically a Rams home game against Manly at Cromer Park, I have no idea what terminology to use, as it's Hampshire who clears it over the sideline. Of course, there'll be plenty of people out there that say I have no idea what I'm talking about generally. Throw into Arrowsmith, tried to return it to Gilbane. It is broken up. It's Biasi up against Corbett, I think. And Biasi almost got out of trouble. That nearly brilliant work from the man. Manly's number 11. Now that's moved back to Luong. So it's Masensky. Now, we've got it's a trick of perspective. Is that looked like a handball from Grace Arnold, but none of the Rams players peeled. That's what the guide I use. If the opposition players don't appeal, it's definitely not what you think it was. So we go on. Now it's moved back to Hampshire. Masensky's open in space. That's what Hampshire spotted. The ball is behind her. A little anecdote with Teo Masensky. As my long-time followers know, I love a bit of futsal. I was watching Teo Masensky play futsal during the summer. She didn't like a referee's decision, and I was struck by the confidence with which she disagreed with the referee. Well, that's a lot of confidence for such a young player. Then when I was doing MC work for the Champion of Champions Day, I found out Teo Masensky is also a referee. Like, well, that's why she that's why she understands the laws of the game. It all makes sense now. Well, speaking of players in this league that are also referees, a player that I mentioned earlier, Ruby Egan-Brown of Sydney Uni, formerly of Manly United, by the way, Ruby Egan-Brown. But I've heard Ruby is also a referee that's rising up very quickly through the ranks. as part of the referee's fitness testing, as that is the ultimate safety first clearance there from Madison Swartridge. And that building that is actually not part of the Cromer Park complex, that building, the Peeler building, that gets hit by balls at least once every game. But thankfully we got the right rebound, I think, although I think it might be what it is. It is often a Monday morning ritual for the people at Manly United, knocking on Peeler's door and asking if they can have their ball back. And anyway, where was I? Oh yes, Ruby Egan-Brown, yes. So as part of referee fitness testing that they do at the beginning of year, Ruby did it, and we'll hold that thought as... Oh, Biasi gets the jump here, and Biasi, off-balance shot. That thing that got fingertips from Coelho, so we're going to say that's an excellent save. Biasi did so well to get the jump on Hampshire. We'll go the other way with Corbett. Corbett's got a runner. That's a good ball. And a big run there from Callow. Callow up against two players. Bazanic now, she'll have to run it out. It wasn't going to go out for a goal kick. Bazanic deals with the danger. And that's better than a clearance. Finds Biasi. Manette can't make it stick. I promise I'll finish this Ruby Egan-Brown story. Now, let's loose touch from Morris. Biasi skips away from Hampshire. Then tries to get away from Swartridge as well. And Biasi, like the way Biasi plays, really put herself about this evening. Here's the ball to Stewart, and for the moment, Stewart gets away from Manidi. Can she find space for the cross? Biasi again involved in this move. Back to Bazanic. Manly might need a bit of patience here. There's a lot of Rams back, not much space. Gilbane's going to hold down R2, get into the box. And Gilbane, then double up on her. Now Zordan has to get involved. This will break for Corbett, and it's 3 Rams players on 4, make it 5, as Arrowsmith can't stop it. Corbett, don't think she quite got the curl on that she wanted, and Stewart, good tracking back, as that could have been promising for Macarthur. Yes, take attempt number 3 at finishing this Ruby Egan-Brown story. So, as part of preseason fitness testing, Ruby Egan-Brown, she did it, and I'm told, my sources tell me she absolutely rinsed all the boys, thanks in no part to her playing background. So, and presumably that fitness helped her score an absolute banger.
There will be at least 5 minutes of time added on.
Yes, okay, thank you. To Anthony Caruso, long-time Cromer Park ground announcer, at least 5 minutes of time added on, so now I can see, but in my own stopwatch, I was about 2.5 minutes behind, but that's good by my standards. Good tackle there from Swartridge, because Stewart was about to get past her. Actually, there's another little Ruby Egan-Brown anecdote. She will forever be a part of Manly United history. She scored a hat-trick in Manly's first ever Sapphire Cup game 2 years ago, a 5-1 win over Bulli from the Illawarra, I'll call it the Illawarra Premier League. I think technically that's not the name of the women's comp down on the South Coast, but you know what I mean. And in both, as we saw last night, with what she's doing for Sydney Uni first grade team and her refereeing, Ruby's proving to be a real gem of a person. Now pressure's coming, and Manette's closed down Hampshire. Hampshire has to concede the corner. And, well, being caught out inside the box, and I haven't seen a number 27 in that awkward a position since Nico Hulkenberg's car flipped at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and I think it was 2019. I'm hanging it upside down like a cow here. Anyway, I know at least 2 listeners will get that. Arrowsmith with the corner. Good one again, and up there's Manette, but it's over the bar. So now I've got, oh God, I've got to do maths in my head. I think there's about 3 minutes left in this first half. It's been a tough one. Thoughts are with Mayagi, who was stretchered off in case he missed that earlier, and Lola Sasai, who was helped off the field in the end. She did try to play on. In the end, she was, I think, receiving assistants to leave the area behind the benches. Hampshire. I don't think she quite got the distance on that she wanted. Now Manette might sneak in here. She's got a runner, but she can't find Arrowsmith. Daisy Arrowsmith times her run so well. It's something I noticed. She's been in this competition for a while. She's not that far away off a century of NPL New South Wales women's first grade goals. But basically, as that ball goes through, and a Callow giving chase, so Arnold's across to cover. And yeah, I think the last touch of Callow, she knew she needed to keep it in. Can Rams build something just before half-time? Corbett. Now here's Morris. Late timed run. Morris shoots in. It's straight at Simonson. But that's better from Rams, who've had to defend a lot. But when the opportunity presented itself, they did work a shot in a good position. So that's something to please Victoria Guzman. Talented young coach. I believe she's had some kind of involvement with the youth national teams. And of course, Victoria Guzman, again, for the long-time followers of this competition, they would remember her from her time at Sydney Uni, where she was teammates with, among others, Sydney FC and A-League women's icon Tori Tumeth, and a lot of other highly talented players. Now Arnold goes sideways to Schmelzer. Here's Bozanic. Now Burton. Burton. There's Hampshire. A strong foot in there. Now this will break for Arrowsmith. 3 in front of her. Arrowsmith tries to slide it through. Here's Manette, but Luong will shepherd it. In fact, there's good command of the penalty area from Coelho. We're almost at the end of this first half. Coelho's made one excellent save. I think with Biasi falling over as she shot, Biasi, to be fair, did well to even get a shot away given she was falling over. I suspect there would have been some unusual spin on the ball. It wouldn't have traveled as it might usually do when a player is shooting while balanced properly. So it was a very good save from Coelho. Down the other end, Rams go. One last chance, maybe, as Darcy Malone's younger sister Bridget gets some. She got some chips from the canteen. I thought they were closing. They've reopened clearly. But anyway, it's half-time, and it's 0-0 between Macarthur Rams and Manly United in this round 2 NPL Women's New South Wales match. The Manly have had more of the possession. Rams have been very good in a defensive sense, especially from set pieces. They appear to be giving up a slight height advantage to Manly. And you know what? Libby Morris has had a good game for the Macarthur Rams, so there's all to play for as the teams head to the dressing sheds and take a well-deserved drink. This is Eric Subiano on the mic from the Corumba Park stand. We will take a short break, about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. Welcome back to our coverage of NPL Women's New South Wales. Eric Subihano here with the commentary at Cromer Park at this wonderful stand, the Lucas Neal stand. It's 0-0 between Macarthur Rams and Manly United. The second half's about to get underway. And it's all to play for. Manly looking to make it 2 wins from 2 to start the season. And Macarthur Rams, who've had to deal with a lot of challenges. Injuries to Lola Sasai and Maya Yagi in the first half. They've held Manly scoreless. And the ground obviously more familiar to Manly than it is to the Rams. Alana Zik blows the whistle. The second half is underway. And you wonder, always fascinating. The coaches will never tell you this, but I do wonder what Victoria Guzman and Tom Hopley. Like, God, what a terrible time to have a memory blank. But anyway, Victoria Guzman and Tom Hopley would never forget, would never reveal, what they say at half-time. But imagine with Guzman, there'd be a lot of encouragement, especially with such a young squad and going through the tribulations of football. They have played well, and there is still a chance of earning. They still have a very good chance of earning a positive result. Well, you think for Tom Hopley, the message might be patience. They do have ammunition on the bench should they need it later. Might remind you of the subs later on, as that's a good interception of the diagonal from Burton. Now it's worked back to the goalkeeper. Did hear something off mic. I mean, was someone complaining about Manly United playing music? I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know how to put this. Manly United didn't pay for these speakers to then not use them. About Sydney FC playing music at their home games? I don't understand. Anyway. Some people are just never happy. Now, Ara Smith fighting for it. She has lost out to Callow. And now, a lot of shout. Alana Zik happy to let the play flow, actually. As that will be, actually, yes. Now I know why I've been confused. My old nemesis, the halftime sub. Number 24 is Abby Puckett. She's on, and I'll be honest, I'll be lucky to figure out who she replaced before the game ends. Now, actually, think about Victoria Guzman. Of course, Rams used, as that's shepherded out well for a goal kick. Of course, Victoria Guzman used 2 sub windows in the first half, so perhaps making a halftime sub, not actually pretty smart play there, because of course that you get 3 sub windows, but the halftime break does not count as one of them. So Abby Puckett is on in the number 24 jersey for the Rams. Now, actually, brief scan. Has she replaced Sakura Nojima? Well, that's as if it couldn't get any more difficult for the Rams. I mean, you can't. Sakura Nojima, such a talented player, but if she's been replaced, you have to think, is that another injury issue that they're worried about? The Rams will battle on. They certainly will. And that's a good ball. So left side of the box, here's the cutback. Burton's there. Good positioning with a lot of her fellow defenders trying to track back. Burton has snuffed it out for now. Now, Callow in space. She shoots. It's decent, but Simonson's got the good goal sense and knew it was going wide. That's more encouraging stuff. And yeah, Victoria Guzman like that. It will be a goal kick. It looks like they'll work it short. More Manly from the resulting goal kick. Oh, by the way, as I keep an eye on the NPL New South Wales socials, apparently there's been a worldie scored by Peter Grozos. Peter Grozos now at Sutherland Sharks, or whatever they're called this week. So, I mean, a case of no Grozos, no party down in Sutherland Shire. Now, Rams on the move again, and long-range shot coming up from Callow. That's going to be well over the bar. By the way, given, actually, as I do it, let me get another tangent, given everything that's happened in southeast Queensland recently, our thoughts with the people affected down there by the floods. Absolute miracle that that they actually managed to play an A-League women game at Perry Park. Apparently they have, and the Jets have won by 3-2. Schmelzer plays forward. Now, good work from Stewart. She's got the run as Minette wants it. It's going to have the spin. Coelho's thought about coming and then backed off. Now, it's Minette with the lob, which lands on the roof of the net. And Minette trying to catch Coelho slightly off her line. But that little hesitation does not, in the end, prove to be fateful for the Rams shot stopper. Now, you will have noticed, of course, that Isabella Coelho wears headgear. That's something she's always done, at least in my experience of watching her play. She's seen her wear that a number of times during futsal games. So, I mean, the Petacek comparison, as should be a foul on Gilbane. The Petacek comparisons will be obvious, although when I was trying to think of a comparison, for some reason I thought of Sterling Mortlock first, which is a very off-brand reference for me. Now Burton, Minette trying to back in against Manidi. Now foot in there from Swatridge. Swatridge again. Now Callo's going to chase this one. And that ball. Oh, no, sorry. That was, yeah, there we go. That's my old eyes again. That was, and the near touch line, that was Puckett chasing it. Interesting. Minette has stayed out wide in this phase of play. Normally she's the centre forward. Nicole Stewart appears to be occupying the centre forward position for the time being. Now Burton trying to pick that out of the floodlights, and it's headed to safety by Matilda Diaz-Vadovic. Stewart, little bit of head tennis. He'll run into the box. Could be interesting for Manly. Now Minette squares it. Biasi wants some room to shoot. That's decent. Biasi to the byline, and she shoots and hits the post. It's a great effort. Follow-up effort from Gilbane goes over. Biasi almost made it work from a nearly impossible angle. Smacks one against the frame of the goal. And a couple of close calls for Biasi and Gilbane, two players who are scored last week for Manly. Also, I'm told of a A-League women action at Perry Park. Emma Dundas, the young woman with the very Western Sydney surname, but who is very much from the Hunter Valley. She scored one of the goals for the Jets. There's Maniti. Maniti only finds Schmelz's head. That's what Manly would be trying to do from any set pieces, you'd think. Now it's Bozanic. The overlapping run starting from Burton. Bozanic now finds Burton. Burton's done well to keep it alive. Stewart. Ara Smith. Ara Smith turns and finds the pass. Zordan. Now Zordan, it's the right idea because the reverse ball was on. Biasi was in space. But now it's Rams trying to take it back the other way. And that's great covering from Burton. It slams into the Ray White Forestville advertising board on the far side. Now that Burton intervention has allowed Manly to get back into their defensive shape. Okay. Now that's going to go hit the side netting as there's I think is that a plover just sitting very unperturbed in the Manly penalty area? What's a... Yes. Yeah. Manly does have Cromer Park does have a lot of plovers in the nearby region. Now it's Callow. I think she wanted some help with the press, which wasn't really coming. Now here's Corbett putting the pressure on Arnold. Gilbane far side. Now, that's good work by Manly to get out and not be pinned near the touchline. Now Stewart, I think she was onside, and Stewart's going to get to this. First touch is decent enough. She shoots Stewart, and Nicole Stewart scores. That's a wonderful goal. 2 goals in the first 2 rounds of the season for Manly's number 5. And it really was a 5-star effort. Staying alert on the far side of the pitch, making the right run when the ball was played in her direction. The first touch took a goal side of the nearest defender, and the second touch is into the bottom corner, out of Quayler's reach. Manly United have a goal, and with about 55 minutes played, it's Macarthur Rams 0, Manly United 1. Now, as you, well, yes, there we go. My what I see with my aging eyes confirmed by the ground announcer. Yes. And Cole Stewart, the Wakehurst junior, always puts a tigerish effort, whether it's in attack or defence. She's been rewarded with a goal. It was a lovely strike from the edge of the box. Now, lots of my commentary is fixing my own mistakes. I'm being informed, yes, Sterling Mortlock wasn't the Wallaby who wore headgear with Stephen Larkham. Well, I did say rugby was off-brand for me. I should probably keep it that way, to be honest. Now, that's going to run through to Simonson. I mean, with either of the rugby codes, I mean, one of the few players I'm familiar with is Sheridan Gallagher, but I think that doesn't really count, does it? Sheridan Gallagher, former. I think Macarthur Rams Jr., by the way. She's also played for Football New South Wales Institute and Illawarra Stingrays, and in A-League Women for Western Sydney Wanderers, and now Newcastle Jets. And also, I think, an NRW Championship winner with the Newcastle Knights. And, oh yes, that's right, Sheridan Gallagher, yet another Mel Keith prodigy. It's been pointed out in one of my many group chats, yes, I am more familiar with Hills Brumbies than ACT Brumbies. That is correct. Hills Brumbies should never have changed their name to Hills United. Love them, but well, such a good name. But I've actually got the Hills United women's team in a couple of weeks. Their home game on the 30th. Against SD Raiders. That should be a good game. But that's I've got my first League One women's match of the round for this year. Yes. And if any other commentators are interested in calling a Hills United women's game, they can do it over my dead body. Corbett backtracking and a lovely drop of the shoulder there to buy the room and turn. Corbett again. Decent ball. Here's Callow. And Callow now, oh, that was the right option, but Diaz Vadovic will not catch up to it. Now, I might just, perhaps a reminder of the lineups out there, because there were tech issues, so it's possible that this was missed by some of you at the start of the game. And also, might as well do this right now before Manly make any subs. But yeah, Manly's lineup out there, they look to be roughly in a 4-3-3 shape. In goal, Nicole Simonson. Back four from left to right. Number 4, Leah Burton. Number 15, Michaela Schmelzer. Number 3, Grace Arnold. And number 2, the captain, Phoebe Gilbane. 3 in midfield. Number 8, Anita Zordan. Number 12, Sian Bozanic. And number 18, Daisy Arrowsmith. 3 up front. Number 11, Tegan Biasi. Number 9, Emily Minette. And number 5, the only goal scorer so far, is number 5, Nicole Stewart. I'll do the Rams lineup once I figure out roughly what shape they're playing. Good first time pass from Arrowsmith to find Stewart. I think that was a shout from Isabella Coelho. Stopped the cross. The shout was heeded. Now, that one sliced out there. It's about near the halfway mark. By the way, they really are stopping the cross at this phase of play, Rams. Mandy will try again. Zordan getting involved now. Well, that's lovely from Zordan. It almost got the better of 3 players. And Zordan actually has done well to win it back. Now Schmelzer. I think she's going to go direct. She does. Looking, I think, for Biasi. Biasi has done enough to put Luong off. So Maniti's out to close her down, and corner. Now, I think what's happened is, well, I mean, my corner counts are unofficial anyway. Also, perhaps because of the unusual nature of this situation, Rams hosting, in inverted commas, a game against Manly at Cromer Park. I actually wrote my corners on the wrong side of my notes, but I think I'll fix it. I think this is Manly's 7th corner of the game. Arrowsmith once again will trot over to the flag near the assistant Isaac Riggs. Schmelzer again starting at the far post. And it's a decent ball. There's the flick header, and it's just about saved on the line. Yeah, Coelho's done well there. And yes, Alana Zek stopping things, I think, just to make sure Phoebe Gilbane was okay. Well, we saw a Phoebe Gilbane headed goal last week. We almost had 2 Phoebe Gilbane headed goals in 2 weeks. Great movement by the Manly skipper to get free of the defence. Good reflexes from Isabella Coelho. The kind of reflexes a futsal goalkeeper would have. Now he's Puckett. Puckett, that is stopped by Schmelzer. And Schmelzer, drop of the shoulder to buy a bit of time. Now it's Arnold, and Arnold across to Biasi. Now, Biasi, great burst of speed. Best speed since this afternoon's Formula 1 Grand Prix at Albert Park. She's still going. Now, Bozanic shoots, takes a deflection, and that deflection made it easy for Coelho. Wow, we haven't seen a number 11 that far since Sergio Perez. Obviously, I'm talking about Sergio Perez at Racing Point. And before that, Force India, not Sergio Perez at Red Bull. Anyway, down the far side they go, and it runs away. It runs away from the Rams. Manly trying to play out from the back. It's Callow in close attendance. Now Simonson with the diag to Gilbane. Good touch. But then breaking it up there are the Rams. And then that's Grace Arnold getting the jump on her opponent. Rams will try again with Puckett. Puckett gets it back from Morris. Now, it's Hampshire bouncing it wide to, I think that'll be Luong. Well, it's the far side of the field. I think that's Luong anyway. Masensky. That's good patience from the Rams. I mean, yes, they are trailing, but there's plenty of time left. And it's definitely not the time to panic. Maniti will cross halfway. The defensive header from Arnold. Rams still have the ball. Let the ball do the work, as they say. It's good advice, especially in hot conditions. As this diagonal again, Burton is the right player to get in the way. And now Gilbane got there ahead of Luong, and Gilbane, well, she went down the line, didn't get it very far. Gilbane again. Now it's a good play. Now Minette, tracked by Minetti, she finds a turn. Here's Stewart, and Stewart, that's unfortunate for Stewart. Stepped on the ball, lost a balance. He's making another darting run from outside to inside. That ball. Good header from Schmelzer, cushion header for Zordan. Now, well, good tackle from Morris, and I'm just checking, keeping one eye on Minette, but the Rams will attack, and that shot was blocked by Arnold. I don't think it had the power to trouble Simonson anyway. Zordan. And someone lost a shin pad? Anyway, I think there's a loose shin pad somewhere. The kids wear such small shin pads these days. Tackle from Shoot, which will be a Rams throw. Whatever it was, it's been picked up. Now, we're going to see first Manly sub. It's going to be Bonnie Adams, who, as I said, I did mention I was at that opening round game last weekend at the Rudy Hill Turf Farm. Bonnie Adams was at left back that game, did play very well, so perhaps a bit of a surprise that she starts this one on the bench, but, you know, it's a squad game these days very much. As Minette, decent move, and it might work for Bazanich, and here's a chance. It's the RC sliding in, but Coelho got there first. So Bonnie Adams will be the first player on. She's currently getting some instructions from whoever it is that has the laminated, the folder full of laminated sheets. By the way, just a reminder, the other subs on the Manly bench, Jodie Draver's the backup keeper. Ava Roberts is also on the bench. Those two played in the under-23 game, so they're less likely to get major minutes. It's also Hallie Smith and Ellie Kerr on the Manly bench. Schmelzer is after this one, but Schmelzer does what every defender I've ever met loves doing, shepherding a ball over the line for a goal kick. Manly once again building from the back, and it's like what Macarthur's doing. They're standing off at least for the initial passes before putting the pressure on, and it's worked that time. Here's Corbett. Sorry, my frustration there. The People's Champion, Nicholas Kutniak, found an NPL women's live score site for me, which was very good of him, but it's not updating at the moment, which is annoying. I mean, if I was the multitasking type, I'd get out the Football New South Wales YouTube app and try and see what the score is on various streams. But as I've demonstrated tonight, sometimes I struggle doing one thing at a time, so multitasking, yeah, it's not for me. There's the ball, which is nowhere near anyone, really, so not really counted as a shepherding opportunity. And we are going to see Manly's first change of the game. Now, actually, okay, so, yes, we're going to actually have a drinks break as well. Yeah, it's a drink. So that's the drinks break. Now, of course, it did, because of the stop-start nature of the first half, we didn't, I think it was decided not to have a drinks break midway through that just because of everything that had happened. And I think, judging by the shouts, at the resumption, Bonnie Adams is going to come on for Leah Burton, which I'd assume would be a straight swap with Bonnie Adams slotting in at left back.
Just to let everyone know, ladies and gentlemen, that your Manly United women's will be back here next weekend on Sunday the 23rd of March, where they'll be taking on Macarthur Town Rangers. So make sure you join us again on that Sunday for NPL New South Wales Women's, your Manly United FC playing Macarthur Town Rangers.
Yes, and interesting. So yes.
We know you will, Wombat.
Now there's, actually, there you go. So announcement on the PA that, yes, Manly's next women's game at Cromer Park in 7 days' time when they host newly promoted Mount Druitt Town Rangers. And yes, that actually was originally meant to be a Manly United home game. But it's interesting. It just occurred to me, if you compare it to the original schedule that was released, so far Manly have gained 3 additional games at Cromer Park compared to what was originally scheduled. There's this one, of course, but on the men's side, there was a a game against Sydney FC that was moved to Cromer Park, and that was technically a Sydney FC home game as well, just due to unavailability with Sydney's usual home ground, or Sydney Academy's usual home ground of Illingdon Sports Centre. And well, if you're familiar with the Sydney FC Academy, it was pretty much a home game for a lot of those lads as well. And the head coach, Jimmy Van Vieren, who is from these parts. In addition, Manly did do a home game swap for the men's round 2 with Sutherland, or whatever they're called this week. And there we go. There it is. So, yeah, I got something right. It is Leah Burton off, Bonnie Adams on, and Bonnie Adams slotting in at left back. I know something about football. Something. Now, yes, back. Oh, yeah, best in men's round 2, Sutherland and Manly did a home game swap. Stewart chases this one. And that was because unavailability with Seymour Shaw. Now, Stewart's just going to go herself for now. It's good pace from Stewart. And she needs to pick up the cross, and the touch from Emily Minette. Here's a chance. Great save from Coelho. Oh, Nicole Stewart, the number 5, racing away like Pete Sebastian Vettel, and nearly set up a goal for Emily Minette. Unfortunately for Minette, it was a good save from from Coelho. And I was just thinking, as I love to do Formula 1 references, Emily Minette, number 9, it's not giving me much. What, Marcus Ericsson? Wait, please. Emily Minette deserves better than being compared to Marcus Ericsson. Now, a free kick from out wide. Daisy Arrowsmith appears to be the set-piece expert for this game. 2 in the wall set by Coelho. There's the signal. And Arrowsmith aiming at the near post. And safe hands from Coelho. Now that's Grace Arnold pressing from the front. Of course, she was up for the set piece and using her defensive skills in a different part of the field, not letting the Rams play out. Yes. Manly still trying to organise themselves. Grace Arnold still not quite a centre-back. I think she's slotted in at left-back for now, which is a position she can play with Bonnie Adams more centrally. I think Bonnie Adams can also play centre-back if need be. Manly will try the left side of the field. There's the pass. And that will split the difference between 2 Rams attackers. And now Simonson. Nicole S to the other Nicole S. Simonson to Stewart. And there's actually been another sub. And, yeah, that's a foul, yep. Actually, so number 38 is Gabriella White. I was wondering why she wasn't. She had a bib kind of not on properly. Yes, so she was subbed. Ah, great. I didn't even. It took me long enough to figure out that Abby Puckett was on for Sakura Nojima. This is tough scenes for me. So that is. Victoria Guzman's used all 3 windows, I think. I think those are the regulations. It's the same as the A-League. So we will see no Ram subs. Anyway, Arrowsmith with this set piece, and I think that's skewed off the outside of a boot. It's very out of character for Daisy Arrowsmith. Now Gilbane squeezed out of it and ended up running backwards and running it out of play. That's a bit of encouragement from the Rams bench. And to about 74th minute here. So, wait, hold that thought. There's going to be another sub. Ellie Kerr is going to come on. And Nicole Stewart, the goal scorer at the moment, the match winner for today. Or tonight, sorry. She is the one that'll make way. So, Ellie Kerr on for Nicole Stewart in terms of Manly Warringah FA Junior Clubs. Avalon on for Wakehurst. And Kerr, who nearly scored last weekend after coming off the bench against the Wanderers in first grade. Now it's another chance for the youngster to get on the score sheet. I'm glad from my time watching, well, it was women's reserve grade last year, but yeah. Actually, been impressed by the way Ellie Kerr plays. I mean, she's fast, not fast enough to get onto this one, but she'll provide, I think, something kind of similar to what Nicole Stewart offered in this game, like kind of starting out wide, but trying to make runs to get in behind the Rams' back line. Good turn from Zordan. Zordan exchanges passes with Kerr. Zordan, she'll shoot, and she liked the look of that gap at the near post. In fact, it takes a deflection. That's corner number 8, I think, for Manly. So there's the signal. Arrowsmith delivers. It's a great ball and goes all the way through. Ends up as a goal kick. I did mention her Olympico, goal direct from a corner last season. Well, you can see why Arrowsmith has got that in her locker. That was a nightmare for the Rams defense to deal with. But they've gotten away with that one. Excuse me. Here's Maniti. Now White. Back to Maniti down the line. Stopped by Adams. And someone else has lost a shin pad. It's a bit uneasy. There's someone out there without a shin pad. Anyway, here's Biasi. And they're backing off for now. Biasi, another good turn of pace, and Tegan Biasi stings the palms of Isabella Coelho. That shin pad is still there. As Hallie Smith, I think, is going to be the next player on for Manly. Stopped by Schmelzer, and now it's up for grabs, and Zordan's on the end of it. She's got runners either side, and now she tries the outside of the foot pass, but doesn't get the bend on it required. I think she was aiming for Biasi. There's Morris, dishing out the 1-2. That's Corbett. And Corbett, outside of the foot pass, towards Callow, but swept up by Arnold. And Simonson, and they once again trying to play out from the back, and they bought Arnold a little bit of time. Of course, the pressing a little bit intense. You can't blame him. I mean, I'm certainly one of the least fit members of the commentary team. I mean, I was out of breath walking up the steps to the Lucas Neal stand. So credit to all the players, for especially the under-23 players, and especially the Girls Youth League players earlier today, for playing in the heat, and with the early games also having to deal with the sun. Thrown from White, and good first-time pass. Here's Puckett. And Puckett, credit to... Oh, Rams are convinced it was a corner, but the officials, Alana Zick and Thomas Dale between them, disagree. And see, Alana and Thomas on the same wavelength, so the best combination of the Hillshire and the Northern Beaches since my day job. But that will go against against Manly. Yes, host, visitors, it's a bit confusing today, but anyway, it's White to deliver, and that's perhaps she might have rushed that a bit. So it was relatively easy for Simonson in the end. Now, well, there's two up here. I think it's Masensky and I think Callow to lead the press for the Rams. It's worked out. They've won it back. They've stolen it in midfield. Hallie Smith warms up off frame. Seaforth Jr. for those that are interested. But now Arrowsmith has picked it up, and Arrowsmith's got room to run and options. Arrowsmith to Biasi. Biasi lets it run across her body. She'll get it, but out wide. 1-on-1 with Luong. Cut back to Gilbane. Kerr. Now Biasi, low cross, which doesn't really get anywhere near a teammate. Second effort here. Good header from Maniti. That was necessary. Manette was about to twist the neck muscles. And then, possibly a handball shout, but Rams had the ball and we still go on. But that's not what they needed because it's been given away. Now Adams. Bozanic. And Bozanic. Oh, B2, but not the third. A good tackle from Morris. Corbett. And Corbett, that's good work from Zordan. We've seen her attacking skills, but very, very good defensive play there to slow down the Rams' attack. Gilbane slides in. Anita's, I'm sorry, good. It's late. I'm getting names confused. Alana Zik giving the universal signal for got the ball by pointing at it. Now Kerr will put Manidi under pressure, but Manidi once again getting in the way. Now Kerr, look at that speed. And well, she's won a free kick because and it's going to be a yellow card. So we finally have a yellow card. Alana Zik has run out of patience. And I think it's actually Gabriella White, the substitute, who will be the first player into her notebook. Kerr looked a very complete underdog, absolute underdog to get to that, but she went full throttle, got the position on it, and was smart enough to win the free kick. So it's another set-piece opportunity. And once again, you think this might go towards either Minette or Schmelzer. One in the wall, set by Coelho. Again, it's to the edge of the 6-yard box, and Kerr couldn't quite reach it. Rams let it bounce. Still not properly cleared. In fact, that's going to go to the Rams so they can run it out. Corbett, good drag back. I love a good drag back. And oh, there's the nutmeg from Masensky. That was fantastic. I think Melkeith thought of that, and Masensky will now find... Oh, they made another sub. Okay, so forget what I said about Windows. They made another sub. Either that or they made a double sub at the drinks break because Janaya Barudi is also on the field. Now this is going to be a substitution.
Substitution for your Manly United FC, making away from the field is number 9, Emily Minette. And coming on the field is number 34, Holly Smith.
Okay. So, no goals this time for Emily Minette, but a good shift up front. She went close a couple of times. The Waitrose Junior has been replaced by Hallie Smith, so that will be Smith going to midfield. And Daisy Smith going to centre forward, where she is very, very good. Now the cross that's sliced, and that should be easy for Simonson, in fact. Simonson actually could have let out for a goal kick, but she doesn't bother. And now Hallie Smith, also a member of the Australian Women's National Futsal team that qualified for May's Asian Cup. So, of course, we wait to see the final squad, but I mean, it's not a problem for now, but Manly could lose those two players in May. But, of course, such an honour to have players playing in a national team. And it's so good we finally have a women's futsal national team, as here's Biasi. Biasi, decent ball, and headed away by Barudi. Actually, I think I'm still right about the 3 windows. I think I just missed a double sub. I miss a lot of things. As Schmelzer once again stopping the through ball. Of course, a reminder to keep an eye out on the NPL New South Wales socials, the NPL New South Wales Facebook page, and the @NPL_NSW_official Instagram page for the Women's Team of the Week. That'll be released tomorrow. That's compiled of 3-2-1 votes from the commentators. Everyone who calls the match day. Yes, I am doing this to remind myself to send the votes in, because at the start of last season, when the commentators started getting this voting privileges, I was always the last one, and my memory's not the best. Anyway, Smith rides the challenge well, and Smith stopped by, I think that's Luong on the far side. And that's Coelho shouting out the instructions. I mean, if she's... As that cross comes in, Manidi should deal with it, but sliced it, so what I call a bonus corner. Manly's 9th, I think, of the evening. But anyway, perhaps more shouting from Isabel Coelho coming up. Certainly, if she's as good with the communication as her namesake, former Newcastle Jets goalkeeper Claire Coelho, her teammates will know exactly what's required. Here's the corner. Another good ball, and Schmelzer's up there. Downward header, but wide. That's what they've been looking for Manly. She was way up above the fence. Couldn't find the target that time. Michaela Schmeltz, as I said earlier, played in college for the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee Panthers. She's been on the prowl for goals at all of these set pieces. You know, I don't think it'll be too long before she scores. Throw into Corbett. Time flies when you're having fun. 85th minute now. Shout out to anyone just tuning in, although who can say why you'd wait so late to tune into an NPL stream? It's Manly United leading Macarthur Rams by 1-0. A goal in about the 55th minute from Nicole Stewart. Her second of the season after 2 weeks. That's what separates the two sides, but it's not over yet. Rams have got some very technically gifted players. Manly have to remain concentrated. And one of them, Libby Morris, nice ball to Puckett across the box. And there's runners here. Here's Corbett, but so I think that's credit to Manly for getting in the vicinity and putting her off. But those late runs into the box can be so dangerous. It was good vision from Puckett to find Corbett. And the shot goes wide. Instead, it'll be Gray Arnold taking the goal kick, which I guess is going to go short to Simonson, and indeed, that's what happens. Grace Arnold, another Wakehurst junior. There's so many of them in the Manly first grade setup across women's and men's. Forward to serve, Nicole Simonson and Alambi Beacon Hill United junior. That's a mouthful. And it's Bazanich through to Gilbane. He's got two options in the middle, and Gilbane crosses, and Coelho does well to catch it and not take the ball over the goal line. Now, I've been told that there is a full-time result at the Rudy Hill Turf Farm. Apparently, it's a bit of a history, a first ever win for the Wanderers Academy. They've beaten Sydney Olympic in the match of the round. Jeff Abraham's getting one over on his former employer. Yep, the Wanderers won by 3-1. Well done to those youngsters in red and black. Good tackle from Kerr, though. And Kerr now, White's got to be careful. She's on a yellow card. Kerr, good strength to ride the challenge. And on she goes. Good patience to wait for the runners. Smith's found space. Now Biasi. Manly Bell Jr., by the way, Tegan Biasi. So, Tegan Biasi, this is really much the opposite of her childhood. She's playing against a team wearing maroon. Now, Hallie Smith and Manly perhaps wisely slowing it down, given the conditions, given the game situation. But Biasi, she always loves running at defenders. That's more great work. Biasi looking for the cutback. Arrowsmith. Still Arrowsmith. And now across the box. Good ball there, but it's defended. And it could have been a Rams free kick, but let's go on. And then it's a handball against Macarthur. Smith, the assigned dead ball deliverer for this game, clearly. And Coelho's positioning the three-player wall. Just making sure, just trying to dissuade Daisy from going direct. She does not. Sordan, she's the one that puts it into the middle. It's cleared. It's now Arnold with the header. Now, attacking set piece is an opportunity for both teams to score, but not this time. Well, at least not I don't think so. Manly have got some players back, and yeah, Gilbane, Manly's captain for today, by the way. I believe Manly's usual first grade Karen Ruby Jackson not available for today, but I'm sure. Hope it's not too long before we see her in the number 6 jersey for Manly United. Gilbane couldn't quite stop that, but that's Arnold, and now the handball call goes against Manly this time. This could be the chance. It's pretty much the 90th minute, or it will be by the time they play the set piece. And understandably, everyone back for Manly. 3 in the wall. set by Simonson. Corbett's over the ball. I think Vasensky, I can't see that far. Someone with orange boots is also over the dead ball. Corbett runs over it. Now it's into the middle, and it's easy. And Nicole Simonson does what every keeper loves doing when their team is leading 1-0 in the late stages. Catching the ball and then falling very, very slowly to the ground. One of the finest exponents of that would be a player Rams captain Chantel Manidi knows well, and that is Philippines international goalkeeper Olivia McDaniel, who I do remember at the Women's World Cup game. Oh, that was like almost 2 years ago. Can you believe that? But Philippines leading 1-0 against New Zealand. Olivia McDaniel catching balls and then falling very, very slowly to the ground, and then angering the entire nation of New Zealand. But, you know. Yes. Well, how much stoppage time is going to be played? Well, I don't know. It's all football before the 1998 Men's World Cup was like this. That's good work from Schmelzer. Took the initiative, stopped the play from turning, and now Kerr. Well, Alana's played advantage there, so Zordan. Now, how much ambition does he have? Is she thinking corner flag? No, she's thinking more. Zordan into the middle. And that's a great tackle from Manidi. And there's another loose shin pad on the field. That tackle from Chantel Mead, it did the job just like my uncle's Lechon, as sweeper keeper work there from Simonson. Now Gilbane. The deflection takes it to Smith. But it's the interception from Puckett. Now again, right in front of the far post. Shout out to those very patient patrons who have been here a little bit longer than expected, but they're staying till the end, watching their team. Now run in behind, but the flag's up. The flag's up. Halikalo caught offside by Thomas Dale. Good work on the socials by our fearless leader in the media team, the Golden Greek, the Greek God of Football New South Wales, Mark Stavroulakis, uploading these clips. So apparently Miriam Zumaya scoring a very social media worthy goal in that Wanderers 3-1 win over Sydney Olympic, the match of the round. Look forward to watching that later and hearing the dulcet tones of the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozda, who was on commentary for that one. But anyway, it's that 2 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Morris on a run. And Morris. Now Puckett. Corbett turns. Not much room as Smith is in close attention, but Corbett keeps it alive. Now around the corner. Barati pressed. Now it's a great cross. Gilbane gets the header. Bazanic still has work to do, and Rams still have it. Corbett again. Corbett. But now it's going to be Zordan to run it out. And, well, into a defender. And I think that's White. All she can do is play it into the Rams' technical area. But Manly, absolutely no incentive to play the ball quickly. And Chantel Manidi yelling out the instructions. I haven't heard a Filipino woman that loud since the last time I made my mother angry, as Adams wins the free kick. And there's the full-time whistle, and it's 2 wins from 2 to open the 2025 NPL Women's New South Wales season for Manly United. 1 goal was all it took in the end. Manly have defeated the Rams by 1-0. Nicole Stewart 10 minutes into the second half with a lovely strike from the edge of the area. That's what earned the 3 points for Tom Hopley's side. They're 2 wins from 2. They've got maximum points, and Manly will play Mount Druitt Town Rangers here at Cromer Park in 7 days' time. While for Rams, 2 losses to open their season, but they have been very promising, and Victoria Guzman and her team will have plenty to look forward to and plenty to work on as they build for it. Well, it's a late old night. Thanks for your support. Thanks for staying around to the end. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the NPL Women's New South Wales competition. We hope it's brought you plenty of good vibes by watching our collection of wrestlers. So this is Eric Subiana signing off from the Northern Beaches. If you feel sad, get yourself a coffee. If you feel really sad, get yourself a tattoo. And one last thing, it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, so may I wish you all something very nice. May your luck be like the capital of Ireland. May it always be Dublin. See you next time.